If the police are able to strip an innocent passenger of their Fourth Amendment rights while riding in a car, what would prevent them from stripping the innocent passenger of the remainder of their rights? Newsflash, it's already being done. The video you're about to watch may be familiar to some of you, but it still serves as an important example of just how far police are willing to go to get their grubby little hands on an innocent passenger's identification just to run him for warrants. The video has been heavily edited for time. Let's get to it.
Is this your vehicle, Miss Mills?
Yes, of course.
And you can have your registration?
Trying to get a new vehicle. This one's about to croak on me.
Okay, no weapons or anything like that?
No.
Okay. So do you have your ID on you?
Yeah.
Can I have yours, please, too?
Is that needed?
Yes, sir.
Why do you need his?
Yeah, what do you...
I just want to know who I'm dealing with.
He's just a passenger.
Yeah, I'm just a passenger, so...
Do you have anything
He doesn't drive.
No, it's not required of me, so...
Sir?
It's not required of me right now, so I don't need to provide that. I'm not the one driving, so...
I'm hard time understanding what's going on here. I'm asking you to identify yourself to me, okay?
Yeah.
And you are a passenger in this vehicle.
Correct.
I want to know who you are so I know who I'm dealing with.
I don't think I should be providing that.
Step out of the vehicle, please.
Under Maryland v. Wilson, the passenger has to get out. However, the deputy's going to go hands-on. That's why they order him out. They're pissed and they want to go hands-on. Completely unconstitutional.
Well, what are we being detained for? An investigation on what?
Exactly. That is exactly the question to ask. Investigation into what? Cops investigate crime. What crime is being investigated? None. The officer can't answer the question. So instead, he just ignores it, and he continues to make demands for the passenger to get out.
And what's the investigation?
Step out of the vehicle, sir. Open the door and step out.
If I'm not
You're
under...
refusing to go up and answer my questions, okay? Now,
That's
I know
not
where this
against
is
the law.
going because I've done this, all right? But you are part of the vehicle, and I stopped her for speeding, and I like to know who you are. And you're giving me this deal. Well, I don't think I have to identify you.
Well, no, we don't think we know.
Stand still, okay?
Yeah,
So-
I know I don't have to provide my identification.
You don't?
No,
don't.
sir.
You should.
I'm not a part of this.
Okay,
I'm not
well,
driving.
here's the
so.
thing. But you are a passenger in the vehicle. You can either cooperate, but the more that you refuse to answer my questions or tell me who you are, pending the investigation, now you're obstructing my investigation.
But there's no investigation.
Ah, there it is. Obstructing his investigation. Remember that. Obstructing his investigation. Why? Because I'm going to show you how you can shove that obstruction right up his ass in court.
Well, all right, step out of the vehicle again, or I'm going to take you out of the vehicle.
We're being detained for something. Now, I am because I was speeding.
You can't do that.
Do not touch him.
You
Please
cannot
do not
that's
assault
assault.
him.
If you grab me, that's assault. I have it on video.
Please do not
I have
assault
everything
him.
you're
Yes,
doing
sir.
on video. If you grab me, that's assault.
Step out of the vehicle!
Where in the name of all things holy are police picking up this idea that you lose your Fourth Amendment rights when you go from outside the vehicle to inside the vehicle? Where the hell is this coming from? It's ridiculous. He's threatening to use violence when in fact there's no crime.
If you grab me, that's assault. I have you on video.
Okay.
My hands
No,
are right here.
please do
My
not.
hands are right
You
here.
are assaulting him right now.
Hey, you have it on video.
I got you. Sir, you are assaulting him right now. You can't do that. He was not speeding. You have no reason to be patting him down.
Stay back. Get him on video. He has not.
Sir, we know our rights. This is a speeding. You pulled me over for speeding.
Right now, this is assault. Keep it on video. Keep it on
Do you
video.
have a supervisor coming?
Keep it on video.
Somebody
don't have to
above
get in
you?
the vehicle.
I have to be out so I can have him on recording.
She doesn't have to get in the vehicle. You understand what you're doing, sir? I'm gonna have your back.
So you need to get your hands off him because you cannot. What are you detaining him for?
You can't do this. This is illegal,
Sir, what are you detaining him
This
for?
is
Do you
illegal.
know our rights? Because we know our rights.
Yeah, this is illegal.
So what are you detaining him for? You can't put him in
It's
cuffs.
okay. Get this on video. It's okay. We'll bring it
I
to court.
got you.
We'll
I
bring it
got
to
you
court.
on cuffs.
We'll bring it to court.
He can't.
Bring it to court.
What are you putting him in the truck
Okay.
for?
This entire unconstitutional fiasco is based on the innocent passenger not identifying himself to the officer. Yet he was arrested for obstructing an investigation instead of failing to identify. Guys, what you just witnessed is a trick of law enforcement. It's a game, and I'm going to show you what I mean. And once we get done talking about that, I'm going to show you the strategy that you can use to win in court, and you're going to win, and you're going to win big. And what would the average bootlicker say about the situation? Oh, he should have just complied. He should have just given up his ID, No. When you don't have to, no. What you're about to see in here is going to make this officer idiot look like a fool. It's called essential elements of the crime. Let's play it backwards. The essential element of the crime of obstructing an investigation that began with failing to ID was the fact he was a passenger in a motor vehicle. Part of the motor vehicle, the cop said. No crime anywhere in sight. My primary role as the defense attorney, and this is the way I describe it, is to muddy the water as much as I can. The muddier the water, the more reasonable doubt that I'm able to inject into the prosecutor's case, which means I'm more likely to get an acquittal for my client. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start the cross-examination. And Officer Idiot, you see that dumbass smirk on his face? By the end, he's going to wish he'd never gone into law enforcement. There we go. Remember to try and film the interaction if you can, and you have to know applicable case law inside and out. And I'm talking about Terry v. Ohio and Brown v. Texas. Terry v. Ohio and Brown v. Texas. Inside and out. That's not a request. That's demand. The very first thing that you have to get that officer to do is to prove to you that he actually has the credentials to do the job. Now, the prosecutor may have already gone through this during direct examination. I don't care. You do it your way anyway. Officer, did you attend an accredited police academy? Officer, what was the name of that academy? Officer, what were the approximate dates that you attended that academy? Officer, did you graduate from the academy? Officer, do you recall the date that you graduated from the academy? Why ask that last question? Why not? Plus, it's a test of memory. I mean, he's kind of an oafish, goofy-looking guy. He may not have a very good memory. In terms of establishing whether he has the credibility to be a police officer, now you have to ask this question. Officer, while in attendance at the police academy, did you receive training specific to the Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution and issues involving the search and seizure of persons and property? Persons and property. Well, now you've established two things. A, that he attended a police academy and successfully graduated from the police academy. And B, that he received training specific to the Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution regarding issues pertaining to the search and seizure of persons and property as it applies to day-to-day policing. Every one of these questions in one way or another is going to be related to the Fourth Amendment because that was the primary rights violation. You're trying to show that the officer doesn't know the law as it applies to the Fourth Amendment and day-to-day policing. Just be sure that the questions are relevant to the Fourth Amendment. First question, on a scale from 1, not at all knowledgeable, to 10, extremely knowledgeable, how would he rate his knowledge of the Fourth Amendment as it applies to day-to-day policing? Number 2, what are the first 10 amendments to the Constitution called? Bill of Rights. I have answers both here and in the book. What 4 things are identified in the Fourth Amendment as being protected from unreasonable searches and seizures? Persons, houses, papers, and effects. As a certified peace officer of this state, are you lawfully empowered to make traffic stops of motor vehicles that you deem to be in violation of law? Remember, it was a traffic stop. Do you, as a matter of course, make traffic stops of motor vehicles as part of your duties as a peace officer of this state? Now you're going to ask, what is a Carroll search? That's Law Enforcement 101. It's a probable cause search of a motor vehicle. Boy, if he doesn't know that, you've already set him up to fail. What is the scope of a Carroll search? Well, the scope is if the item or object that initiated the search can fit, it can be searched, including locked containers in the trunk. Tell the court what items must an officer leave behind after serving a search warrant. A copy of the search warrant and verified inventory, which is a list of items seized. Define reasonable suspicion as you remember it from the police academy. And the answer is facts and circumstances that would lead a reasonable person to believe that a particular person has committed, is committing, or is about to commit a specific crime. Are you familiar with the U.S. Supreme Court case called Terry v. Ohio? Please summarize for the court. Are you familiar with the U.S. Supreme Court case called Brown v. Texas? Please summarize for the court. They're already shitting by this time, you know. What do both cases require an officer to articulate before they can lawfully demand identification? Reasonable suspicion of a specific crime is the answer. What specific crime did you suspect me of committing before you demanded my identification? Does a person surrender their constitutional rights just by virtue of riding in a car? Did I surrender my Fourth Amendment rights just by virtue of riding in a car? If you stopped a bus driver for speeding, is it your sworn testimony that you have the lawful authority to demand identification from each of the passengers under threat of arrest, no less, like you did me, without articulating reasonable suspicion of a specific crime? Bingo! How's he going to answer that one? Aha, here we go. What law compels the passenger to identify themselves to law enforcement without articulating reasonable suspicion of a specific crime? How specifically did I obstruct you when, as a matter of fact, you had no lawful authority to demand my identification in the first place? Isn't it true that the only reason you demanded my identification was to run me for warrants? Do you still believe that you made the right decision by arresting me for not surrendering my identification lacking reasonable suspicion of a crime? And there it is. There it is. There's your template. There's your strategy. There's the script. It's never been presented like this before, ever. So, what does it mean? It means the next time you watch a video where the cops arrest an innocent passenger for failing to ID or obstructing their so-called investigation, now you know the defense strategy. Now you know the right questions asked in the proper order in order to secure a victory. Winning in criminal court makes it more likely you're going to prevail in civil court, and you're going to get into civil court because he's going to be denied qualified immunity. What you just did, the questions you asked in the proper sequence, and you ended up prevailing in criminal court, no way is he going to get qualified immunity. I think this is a good time to wind things up. But before I go, I just want to again encourage people to at least consider buying the Oathbreakers books. It's all I ask is just consider it. So y'all take care, stay safe, and God willing, we'll see you in the next video.